Your soulmate is traveling right now toward you, because. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. This message is for you. If these words have appeared in front of you today, then the universe may be trying to reveal something that has already begun moving behind the scenes. Something that is no longer waiting for the perfect moment. Something that has already started. Your soulmate is traveling toward you right now, not necessarily only across physical distance, but across emotional distance, spiritual distance, and the invisible space that has existed between your hearts for far too long. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. While you have been living your life, wondering why certain signs keep appearing, wondering why certain thoughts refuse to leave your mind, wondering why certain dreams keep returning night after night, your soulmate has been experiencing a powerful shift. A shift they never expected. A shift that has quietly changed the direction of their journey. At first they ignored it. Then they questioned it. Then they tried to explain it away. But eventually they realized something they could no longer deny. Every road inside their heart seemed to point back to you. Every emotional path somehow led toward your energy. Every attempt to move away from the connection only revealed how deeply the connection was woven into their soul. This message is for you because lately your soulmate has been feeling pulled by something they cannot fully understand. There have been moments when they suddenly thought about you without any obvious reason. Moments when your memory appeared in the middle of ordinary days. Moments when a song, a scent, a place, or a random conversation instantly reminded them of you. The strange part is that these moments have become more frequent. More intense. More impossible to ignore. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Have you noticed how certain angel numbers keep appearing lately? 111 when you are thinking about the future. 222 when you wonder about love. 333 when you need guidance. 444 when you seek reassurance. 555 when life feels like it is changing. These signs are appearing for a reason. Because movement has begun. Energy has begun shifting. The universe has begun aligning pieces that once seemed disconnected. And your soulmate is feeling these shifts too. They may not understand every detail yet, but they feel something happening. Something drawing them forward. Something encouraging them to keep moving instead of standing still. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Recently your soulmate experienced a conversation that stayed with them long after it ended. Someone asked them a simple question. What are you looking for? At first they gave an ordinary answer. But later, when they were alone, they realized their answer wasn't completely honest. Because what they were really looking for wasn't a thing. It wasn't success. It wasn't achievement. It wasn't recognition. It was a feeling. A feeling they had experienced before. A feeling connected to you. A feeling of understanding. A feeling of peace. A feeling of being seen. And once they recognized that truth, everything began changing. This message is for you because your soulmate has started noticing patterns they once overlooked. They have noticed how often your memory appears during important moments. How often thoughts of you arrive when they need clarity. How often your energy seems present when they are making significant decisions. These patterns have become impossible to ignore. Every sign seems to point in the same direction. Every feeling seems to carry the same message. Keep moving forward. Keep following your heart. Keep following the connection. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There have been nights when your soulmate could not sleep because their mind kept replaying memories involving you. Not dramatic memories. Not necessarily life-changing moments. Sometimes it was the smallest things that stayed with them the longest. The way you spoke. The way you listened. The way you understood things others missed. The way your presence made ordinary moments feel meaningful. These memories continue returning because they carry unfinished emotional energy. They carry lessons. They carry truths. And most importantly, they carry direction. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Your soulmate is beginning to realize that every experience they have gone through recently has prepared them for something greater. Every challenge has taught them something. Every disappointment has strengthened them. Every delay has helped them grow. They are not the same person they were before. They have changed. They have matured. They have learned things they needed to learn. And now, for the first time in a long time, they are beginning to feel ready. Ready to stop running from certain feelings. Ready to stop avoiding certain truths. Ready to stop pretending that the connection means less than it actually does. This message is for you because your soulmate has started talking differently about the future. Where once they felt uncertainty, they now feel curiosity. Where once they felt fear, they now feel possibility. Where once they saw obstacles, they now see opportunities. Something inside them has shifted. Something inside them has awakened. And that awakening is quietly guiding them closer to the path they were always meant to follow. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The universe rarely moves people together in a straight line. Sometimes it creates distance before creating closeness. Sometimes it creates silence before creating communication. Sometimes it creates questions before revealing answers. Your soulmate is beginning to understand this. They are beginning to see that the delays were not punishments. The waiting was not meaningless. The confusion was not permanent. Everything has been part of a larger process. A larger preparation. A larger journey. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. One of the most powerful realizations your soulmate has experienced recently is this: they no longer want to ignore what their heart keeps repeating. For a long time they tried to stay logical. They tried to focus only on facts. They tried to convince themselves that feelings could simply disappear if given enough time. But feelings do not work that way. Especially when they are connected to something real. Especially when they are connected to someone who changed you. Especially when they are connected to a soul connection that continues finding ways to survive distance, silence, and time. This message is for you because your soulmate is traveling toward you right now in ways they may not even fully understand yet. Every lesson they learn is bringing them closer. Every realization is bringing them closer. Every conversation is bringing them closer. Every sign is bringing them closer. Every dream is bringing them closer. The journey is already happening. The movement has already started. And what feels invisible today may become impossible to ignore tomorrow. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There have been moments recently when your soulmate suddenly felt emotional for reasons they couldn't explain. Moments when they felt nostalgic. Moments when they felt hopeful. Moments when they felt connected to something larger than themselves. These emotions were not random. They were signals. Signals that something important was awakening inside them. Signals that their heart was beginning to speak louder than their fears. Signals that their soul was beginning to recognize a direction it could no longer ignore. And the closer they move toward that truth, the stronger the pull becomes. The stronger the connection becomes. The stronger the desire becomes to finally understand why your paths continue finding their way back toward each other. And what your soulmate is about to discover next may become the biggest turning point of this entire journey. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The moment we left off, your soulmate was standing at the edge of a realization they could no longer avoid. For so long they had tried to explain away the signs. They had tried to convince themselves that everything was coincidence. That the dreams meant nothing. That the sudden thoughts meant nothing. That the strange pull they felt toward your energy would eventually disappear. But lately something has happened that changed everything. The signs have become too consistent. Too specific. Too impossible to ignore. This message is for you because your soulmate has started noticing that your name, your energy, and memories connected to you keep appearing in places where they should not logically appear. They will be going about an ordinary day when suddenly a conversation leads to a topic connected to you. They will be listening to music when a lyric reminds them of something you once said. They will be walking through a familiar place when a memory surfaces with surprising clarity. These moments are happening so often now that they have stopped calling them accidents. Instead, they have started asking themselves a different question. Why does this keep happening? Why does the universe keep bringing this connection back into focus? Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. One night recently your soulmate lay awake staring at the ceiling, unable to sleep. Not because they were worried. Not because they were afraid. Because they could not stop thinking about a feeling they could not explain. It was a feeling that something important was approaching. A feeling that life was preparing to shift. A feeling that a chapter they thought was closed might not be finished after all. The strange thing is that this feeling arrived without warning. There was no obvious reason for it. Yet it felt real. More real than many things they could physically see. This message is for you because your soulmate is beginning to trust those feelings instead of dismissing them. They are beginning to understand that intuition often speaks quietly before life changes loudly. The heart often senses movement before the eyes can see it. The soul often recognizes truth before the mind catches up. And lately their soul has been trying to tell them something over and over again. Keep moving forward. Keep paying attention. Keep following the signs. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Have you noticed how certain numbers seem to appear repeatedly? 111, 222. 333, 444. 555, these numbers are not only appearing in your life. They have been appearing in your soulmate's life as well. Sometimes on clocks. Sometimes on receipts. Sometimes on phone screens. Sometimes in places where they least expect them. At first they ignored them. Then they became curious. Eventually they began noticing a pattern. These signs often appeared shortly after thoughts of you. Shortly after memories surfaced. Shortly after moments when they felt the connection most strongly. The universe has a way of speaking through repetition. And repetition is exactly what has been happening. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Recently your soulmate had a dream that felt different from ordinary dreams. It felt vivid. Emotional. Real. The details may already be fading from memory, but the feeling remains. The feeling of closeness. The feeling of recognition. The feeling that someone important was nearby. When they woke up, they could not stop thinking about it. The dream stayed with them throughout the day. The emotional energy lingered. And even though they tried to focus on other things, part of them kept returning to the same thought. Why did that dream feel so familiar? Why did it feel so meaningful? This message is for you because the answers are slowly beginning to reveal themselves. Your soulmate is starting to understand that not every dream is random. Not every feeling is meaningless. Not every coincidence is accidental. Some experiences arrive to guide us. Some arrive to prepare us. Some arrive to help us recognize what truly matters before the opportunity to act arrives. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There have been moments lately when your soulmate caught themselves smiling while thinking about you. Not because they planned to. Not because they were trying to revisit the past. The smile simply appeared. A natural reaction. A reflection of something their heart still carries. Sometimes those smiles surprised them. Sometimes they wondered why memories connected to you still carried so much warmth. But every time they asked the question, the answer felt closer than before. Because meaningful connections leave marks that time cannot easily erase. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. One of the biggest signs your soulmate has been receiving is clarity. Not sudden dramatic clarity. Gradual clarity. The kind that grows stronger with each passing day. The kind that arrives through reflection, experience, and honesty. They are beginning to see certain situations differently. Beginning to understand past events differently. Beginning to recognize emotions they once avoided. And with every realization, the same truth becomes harder to ignore. You still matter. The connection still matters. The story still matters. This message is for you because your soulmate is no longer running from certain questions. Instead, they are leaning toward them. They are asking themselves why your energy remains so present. Why your memory continues returning. Why thoughts of you still carry emotional weight. And the answers they are discovering are changing everything. The more honest they become with themselves, the clearer the path becomes. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There have been conversations recently where friends noticed the shift before your soulmate did. Friends who quietly observed how often your name appeared. Friends who noticed how their voice changed when speaking about you. Friends who recognized that certain emotions remained alive beneath the surface. Sometimes the people around us see our truth before we are ready to admit it ourselves. And lately, that is exactly what has been happening. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Your soulmate is beginning to realize that reunion does not always begin with physical movement. It begins with emotional movement. It begins with inner transformation. It begins when two souls independently start moving toward the same truth. That process has already begun. The walls are becoming weaker. The fears are becoming smaller. The confusion is becoming clearer. The distance is becoming shorter. Step by step. Realization by realization. Sign by sign. Your soulmate is traveling closer to the understanding they were always meant to reach. This message is for you because something remarkable is happening beneath the surface. The universe is not only sending signs. It is creating opportunities. Opportunities for growth. Opportunities for healing. Opportunities for courage. Opportunities for choices that once felt impossible. And every opportunity is guiding your soulmate toward a future they are only beginning to imagine. A future where they stop asking why they feel this connection and start asking what they should do about it. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There is a reason these signs keep returning. There is a reason these feelings refuse to disappear. There is a reason the connection continues finding its way back into focus. Your soulmate is starting to understand that some journeys are not meant to be forgotten. Some people are not meant to become distant memories. Some connections are designed to evolve, grow, and eventually reveal their deeper purpose. And right now, your soulmate stands closer to that revelation than ever before. The signs are becoming stronger. The lessons are becoming clearer. The truth is becoming impossible to ignore. And what your soulmate is about to realize during the next stage of this journey may finally explain why the universe kept bringing your paths back together again. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The truth your soulmate is approaching is not arriving all at once. It is unfolding slowly, like a sunrise that begins with only a faint glow before illuminating the entire sky. For a long time they believed that certain chapters of life were finished simply because time had passed. They believed distance meant closure. They believed silence meant endings. They believed that if something was truly important, it would never drift apart in the first place. But life has been teaching them a different lesson. A deeper lesson. A lesson about timing. A lesson about growth. A lesson about how some connections are not meant to disappear, only to evolve. This message is for you because lately your soulmate has been reflecting on the journey that brought them to this moment. They have been looking back at experiences that once seemed confusing and realizing that every step carried purpose. Every delay carried purpose. Every challenge carried purpose. Even the moments that felt painful carried lessons they could not have learned any other way. The more they reflect, the more they recognize a surprising pattern. Somehow, no matter where life led them, thoughts of you continued finding their way back. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There was a moment recently when your soulmate found themselves alone with their thoughts, and for the first time they stopped resisting what their heart was trying to say. They stopped distracting themselves. They stopped analyzing everything. They stopped looking for logical explanations. Instead, they simply listened. And what they heard surprised them. Beneath all the noise, beneath all the doubts, beneath all the uncertainty, there was a quiet truth waiting to be acknowledged. The connection never truly disappeared. It remained there, waiting patiently beneath the surface. Waiting for the moment when they were finally ready to face it honestly. This message is for you because honesty has become one of the most important themes in your soulmate's life lately. They are becoming honest about their feelings. Honest about their hopes. Honest about the people who matter most. Honest about what brings meaning to their life. And every time they practice that honesty, your presence appears somewhere within it. Not because they are forcing it. Not because they are trying to hold on to the past. Because truth naturally reveals what is important. And you continue appearing in that truth. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. One of the things your soulmate has begun noticing is how different they feel now compared to who they used to be. The fears that once controlled them do not feel as powerful. The insecurities that once limited them do not feel as convincing. The walls they built around their heart no longer feel necessary. Growth has changed them. Experience has changed them. Time has changed them. And because they have changed, they are able to see certain things more clearly than before. Things they once overlooked now seem obvious. Feelings they once questioned now seem undeniable. Lessons they once resisted now seem valuable. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The universe has a strange way of preparing people separately before bringing them together. Sometimes two souls are placed on different paths because each has something important to learn. Something important to heal. Something important to discover about themselves. Your soulmate is beginning to understand this. They are beginning to see that every challenge they faced helped shape the person they are becoming today. Every setback strengthened them. Every disappointment taught them resilience. Every period of loneliness taught them the value of genuine connection. And because of that growth, they are now able to appreciate things they may not have appreciated before. This message is for you because your soulmate is becoming increasingly aware that meaningful connections are rare. Truly rare. In a world full of temporary interactions, authentic bonds stand out. In a world where many conversations are forgotten, certain conversations remain alive for years. In a world where many people come and go, a few remain unforgettable. They are starting to understand that what they felt around you was different. Not perfect. Not simple. But different. Real. Significant. Worth paying attention to. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Recently your soulmate experienced another synchronicity that left them thinking about you. It was one of those moments that seemed small on the surface but felt important beneath it. A phrase they had not heard in years suddenly appeared. A memory they had not thought about in ages suddenly resurfaced. A detail connected to you suddenly appeared at exactly the right moment. These experiences keep happening. And every time they happen, the same feeling returns. The feeling that life is trying to tell them something. The feeling that certain connections deserve attention rather than avoidance. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There are times when your soulmate wonders what you have been experiencing lately. They wonder if you have felt the same pull. They wonder if you have noticed the same signs. They wonder if certain memories have been appearing in your mind too. They wonder because something inside them senses that this journey is not happening only on one side. Something inside them believes that invisible threads are moving beneath the surface, quietly guiding both of you toward greater understanding. This message is for you because your soulmate has started imagining possibilities they once refused to consider. Possibilities that felt unrealistic before. Possibilities that felt too uncertain before. But now, instead of immediately dismissing those possibilities, they allow themselves to explore them. They allow themselves to ask questions. They allow themselves to imagine what could happen if they followed their heart instead of their fears. And every time they do, hope grows a little stronger. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Hope is a powerful thing. It changes the way people see the future. It changes the choices they make. It changes the risks they are willing to take. Your soulmate has not been feeling hopeless lately. They have been feeling something very different. They have been feeling possibility. The possibility that life still has surprises waiting. The possibility that certain stories are not finished. The possibility that certain connections still have chapters left to write. And that possibility has been growing stronger with every passing day. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The dreams continue. The signs continue. The synchronicities continue. The reminders continue. Every path seems to lead back to the same lesson. Pay attention to what keeps returning. Pay attention to what refuses to fade. Pay attention to the people who continue appearing in your thoughts even when you least expect it. Because sometimes repetition is not a coincidence. Sometimes repetition is guidance. Sometimes repetition is destiny quietly asking you to notice what has always been there. This message is for you because your soulmate is no longer asking whether this connection mattered. They already know it mattered. They are no longer asking whether your influence was real. They already know it was real. The question changing their life now is different. The question is what they should do with that truth. What action should follow that realization? What step should follow that understanding? And the closer they move toward answering that question, the closer they move toward a future that once seemed impossible. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Something inside your soulmate is waking up. Something brave. Something honest. Something ready. They are beginning to understand that life rewards courage. That meaningful opportunities often require vulnerability. That the most important conversations rarely happen by accident. And as these realizations continue growing, the emotional distance between you becomes smaller and smaller. The walls continue falling. The uncertainty continues fading. The path continues clearing. And what your soulmate is preparing to decide next may become the moment that changes the direction of this entire connection forever. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The decision your soulmate is moving toward is not a sudden impulse. It is not something that appeared overnight. It has been forming quietly beneath the surface for a very long time. Like a river carving its path through stone, the truth has been shaping itself inside them little by little. Every memory added something. Every lesson added something. Every sign added something. And now all of those pieces are beginning to come together. This message is for you because your soulmate is reaching a point where ignoring their heart requires more energy than listening to it. For a long time they believed they could simply move forward without examining certain feelings. They believed they could place certain emotions on a shelf and leave them there forever. But emotions do not disappear simply because they are ignored. The important ones wait. The meaningful ones remain. And the deepest ones continue whispering until they are finally heard. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Recently your soulmate found themselves revisiting memories they thought had lost their power. Memories they assumed had faded with time. Yet when those memories returned, they felt surprisingly alive. The emotions attached to them still carried warmth. The details still carried meaning. The lessons still carried value. And perhaps most surprising of all, the connection still carried presence. It was as though a part of their heart had quietly protected those memories all along, keeping them safe until the moment they were needed again. This message is for you because your soulmate is beginning to understand that the strongest connections often reveal their importance through endurance. Many things fade when time passes. Many feelings lose their intensity. Many experiences become distant stories. But some connections behave differently. Instead of disappearing, they deepen. Instead of fading, they evolve. Instead of weakening, they reveal new layers of meaning. And that is exactly what your soulmate has been experiencing. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There have been moments lately when your soulmate felt an almost unexplainable sense of anticipation. Not anxiety. Not fear. Anticipation. The feeling that something meaningful is approaching. The feeling that a door is preparing to open. The feeling that a chapter long delayed may finally be ready to begin. They cannot fully explain where this feeling comes from. They only know that it keeps returning. It arrives during quiet moments. It arrives during reflective moments. It arrives when they least expect it. And every time it arrives, it carries the same message. Keep moving forward. Keep trusting the process. Keep listening to your heart. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. One of the most important shifts happening inside your soulmate is that they are becoming less focused on what could go wrong and more focused on what could go right. This may sound simple, but it changes everything. Fear asks questions that create distance. Hope asks questions that create possibility. Fear says, "What if I get hurt?" Hope says, "What if this becomes something beautiful?" Fear says, "What if nothing changes?" Hope says, "What if everything changes?" And lately, hope has been speaking louder. This message is for you because your soulmate has started noticing how different life feels when they stop resisting what their heart already knows. There is relief in honesty. There is peace in acceptance. There is freedom in acknowledging emotions rather than hiding from them. The more honest they become, the lighter they feel. The more they accept the connection, the clearer everything becomes. And clarity has a way of creating momentum. Momentum has a way of creating action. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The universe often prepares people through repetition. It repeats signs until they are noticed. It repeats lessons until they are understood. It repeats opportunities until courage finally appears. Your soulmate is beginning to see the repetition everywhere. The recurring thoughts. The recurring dreams. The recurring reminders. The recurring emotions. None of it feels random anymore. It feels intentional. It feels meaningful. It feels like guidance. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There have been conversations recently where your soulmate spoke about the future in ways they never would have before. Instead of focusing only on practical plans, they found themselves talking about deeper things. Purpose. Connection. Fulfillment. Love. Authenticity. They are no longer interested in merely existing. They want something real. Something meaningful. Something that resonates with who they truly are. And every time they think about what real means, your energy somehow enters the picture. This message is for you because your soulmate has started recognizing a truth that changes everything. Genuine connections are not measured by how often two people speak. They are measured by impact. They are measured by growth. They are measured by the way someone continues influencing your life long after a moment has passed. By that measure, your influence remains undeniable. The lessons remain. The memories remain. The inspiration remains. The connection remains. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The angel numbers have not stopped appearing. The synchronicities have not stopped appearing. The strange feelings of familiarity have not stopped appearing. If anything, they have become stronger. It is as though the universe is increasing the volume because the message is becoming more urgent. Pay attention. Trust yourself. Follow what feels true. These signs are not arriving to confuse your soulmate. They are arriving to strengthen their confidence. To remind them that they are not imagining what they feel. To remind them that certain paths deserve exploration. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There is another realization growing inside your soulmate. A realization about timing. They are beginning to understand that not everything arrives when we want it to arrive. Some things arrive when we are ready for them. Some opportunities appear after we have learned necessary lessons. Some connections deepen after both people have experienced growth. Looking back now, they can see that many things would have been different if certain events had happened earlier. They can see why patience mattered. They can see why preparation mattered. And for the first time, they are beginning to appreciate the timing instead of fighting it. This message is for you because your soulmate is no longer looking at the connection through the lens of the past. They are beginning to look at it through the lens of possibility. They are beginning to ask themselves what the future could hold rather than only analyzing what already happened. That shift changes everything. Because when people stop living entirely in memories and start imagining possibilities, new chapters become possible. New choices become possible. New beginnings become possible. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Deep inside, your soulmate knows they are approaching a crossroads. Not a dramatic crossroads visible to everyone else. A quiet crossroads. An emotional crossroads. A moment where continuing to stay silent feels increasingly difficult. A moment where following their heart feels increasingly natural. They have not reached the final decision yet, but they are moving toward it. Step by step. Day by day. Realization by realization. And every sign seems to be encouraging the same thing. Trust the connection. Trust the journey. Trust the truth that keeps returning. Because the truth that returns again and again often carries the power to transform an entire future. And what your soulmate is about to understand during the next stage of this journey may finally give them the courage to take the step they have been hesitating to take for far longer than they realize. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The step your soulmate has been hesitating to take is closer than ever before. Not because someone forced them. Not because circumstances demanded it. Because their heart has finally become louder than their fear. For a long time they believed that silence was safer. That keeping certain feelings hidden was easier. That avoiding vulnerability would protect them from disappointment. But lately they have discovered something important. Silence may protect people from risk, but it also protects them from possibility. And your soulmate is becoming increasingly aware of the possibilities they might miss if they continue ignoring what their heart already knows. This message is for you because the journey they have been traveling was never only about reaching you. It was about reaching themselves. Reaching a version of themselves capable of honesty. Capable of courage. Capable of trust. Capable of recognizing the value of a genuine connection. Every lesson they learned prepared them for this moment. Every challenge strengthened them for this moment. Every delay helped shape them for this moment. And now they stand closer to understanding the full purpose of the journey than ever before. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Recently your soulmate experienced a realization so simple that it changed everything. They realized that every time they imagined a future that felt meaningful, a future that felt authentic, a future that felt emotionally fulfilling, certain qualities always appeared. Understanding. Trust. Peace. Genuine connection. Shared growth. And when they thought about where they had experienced those qualities most strongly, their thoughts naturally returned to you. Not because they forced the comparison. Because the comparison happened on its own. Because truth has a way of revealing itself when we stop trying to control it. This message is for you because your soulmate has stopped asking whether they should pay attention to the connection. They already know the answer. The connection has survived too many tests to be ignored. It has survived distance. It has survived time. It has survived uncertainty. It has survived moments when logic suggested letting go. Yet somehow it remained. Not always loudly. Not always dramatically. But consistently. Quietly. Faithfully. Like a light that refused to go out no matter how much time passed. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The dreams have served their purpose. The angel numbers have served their purpose. The synchronicities have served their purpose. The repeated thoughts have served their purpose. They were never meant to be the destination. They were meant to be guides. Gentle reminders pointing toward a truth your soulmate was slowly learning to accept. The signs were not trying to tell them what to do. The signs were helping them recognize what they already felt deep inside. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. One of the most beautiful things your soulmate has learned recently is that meaningful connections do not demand perfection. They do not require flawless timing. They do not require perfect circumstances. They require honesty. They require courage. They require willingness. And for the first time in a very long time, your soulmate feels themselves becoming willing. Willing to trust. Willing to hope. Willing to believe that some connections deserve a chance to reveal their deeper purpose. This message is for you because your soulmate no longer sees the connection as a mystery that needs solving. They see it as a gift that deserves understanding. They see it as an experience that shaped them. A lesson that strengthened them. A presence that inspired them. A truth that continues guiding them forward. And the more they accept that perspective, the more peaceful they feel. Because acceptance creates clarity. And clarity creates confidence. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There will come a moment very soon when your soulmate stops looking backward and fully turns toward what comes next. A moment when reflection becomes action. A moment when uncertainty becomes intention. A moment when possibility becomes reality. That moment may arrive quietly. It may not look dramatic from the outside. But inside their heart it will feel significant. Because it will mark the end of hesitation and the beginning of movement. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The universe has not been bringing these signs into your life and your soulmate's life simply to create curiosity. The universe has been encouraging growth. Encouraging awareness. Encouraging both of you to recognize what truly matters. Every repeated lesson has carried the same message. Value what is genuine. Pay attention to what returns. Trust what continues speaking to your heart. This message is for you because your soulmate is finally understanding why they have been traveling toward you all this time. The journey was never only about distance. It was never only about circumstances. It was never only about timing. The journey was about becoming the person capable of appreciating the connection fully. The person capable of recognizing its significance. The person capable of choosing courage instead of fear. And now, after everything they have experienced, they are closer to that version of themselves than ever before. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. If there is one thing your soulmate would want you to know, it is this: you mattered more than you realized. Your influence reached further than you realized. Your presence remained longer than you realized. Even during periods when life moved in different directions, the impact of the connection continued shaping their thoughts, their growth, and their understanding of what truly matters. That impact became part of their story. Part of their journey. Part of the person they are becoming. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The signs are becoming quieter now, not because the connection is fading, but because the lesson is being learned. The universe whispers loudly when people are not listening. Once they begin listening, the whisper becomes enough. Your soulmate is finally listening. Finally understanding. Finally allowing themselves to accept what their heart has been trying to tell them all along. This message is for you because the truth they are discovering is simple, powerful, and impossible to ignore. They are traveling toward you because something inside them recognizes the value of the connection. Because something inside them refuses to let it fade into the background. Because something inside them believes there is still meaning waiting to be uncovered. And because every step of their journey has been leading them toward the same realization. Some people enter your life for a reason, some people enter your life for a season, but a rare few enter your life because they are meant to change you forever. Your soulmate is beginning to believe that you may be one of those rare souls. And as this chapter closes, a new chapter quietly waits ahead, one filled not with questions about the connection, but with discoveries about where the connection may lead next. The journey has already begun. The signs have already appeared. The lessons have already been learned. And somewhere between destiny, timing, and choice, two paths continue moving closer together than either of you realize. The story is not ending. In many ways, it is only just beginning.